Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Sword and Sorcery Immortal Souls, where we're currently playing the second quest of Act 1, our Menaced Kingdom, and we'll soon start episode 4. But before that, yay, we've got some corrections to go through. In fact, it'd probably be easier to go through what I got right last episode. But no, let's get into the corrections. Okay, I'll do a couple of the simpler ones first. I have got a comment to make on each of these actually, and I hope the designers are listening. The first one is it's when I came to place some of the enemies on the 6A tile, and it does say in the storybook, it says you place them clockwise, and if you recall, I placed one here, and basically just moved around this way, because clockwise. But as somebody pointed out to me, the actual map setup I've got here is actually on one side. So I should have started from up here and gone clockwise this way. Which is a fair comment, and I hold my hands up, I didn't do that. What I would say though to designers is don't use words like clockwise, don't say put them in the top left hand corner. Why? Because it's quite simple really. This is quite a large game with a large footprint. This is a very large map. It goes all the way over here. People do not slavishly follow what is printed in the rulebook. What they do is look at what's in the rulebook and then they look at the table or space in front of them and think, how the hell am I going to get that to fit on my gaming space? Which is exactly what I did. Consequently, I had to turn it 90 degrees. So when it comes to describing things in your rule books, I would suggest that you don't use things like clockwise or whatever. Put a little diagram in or something and make it obvious. Because if you use things like left-hand corner, clockwise, stuff like that, things like what's happened happen. Now I'm sure there's a load of people out there who go, well, yeah, if you'd like listened or read it properly, you wouldn't have had any problem. Well, probably not, no. But you know what? I've got enough to think about. When you're just reading through and you just go clockwise, you go, oh right, clockwise, bang, 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 bang. You don't sit there and go, hang on a minute, yes. So anyway, not a big deal because they got placed out anyway. You know, I don't think it made a great deal of difference. But just to warn you, in future playthroughs, because I believe this sort of thing is throughout the rulebook in this particular game, I may well forget. And I'm not going to apologise for forgetting, because it's just, you read through and you do it. Yeah, you've got other things to think about, rather than thinking, getting a compass out and making sure it's exactly in the exact orientation that you think it should be. So that's the first thing. Secondly, what did I get wrong? Well, I messed up a red gremlin activation, but this was sort of in with another mistake that I made. The red gremlin was sort of injured and shouldn't have activated. Now, I thought because it was like another encounter card that the red gremlin got an extra activation due to quickness. But it was during that point in the game where we pulled 2 encounter cards and it had already activated on the first one. Apparently it activating on the first one was enough, so quickness didn't come in on the second encounter card. It's not based on the number of encounter cards you get in an enemy turn, it just happens to be the enemy turn. But anyway, that pales into insignificance because I made a mistake before then. When I actually pulled the card that said, oh, on an enemy turn you must pull an encounter card, I mistakenly thought that you needed enemies on the board to do that. We should have pulled it anyway. Yeah, should have pulled it anyway, and if the either or hadn't ended up with spawning enemies or something like that, then woohoo, we'd have been brilliant, and it didn't matter. I mistakenly thought it only counted when you had to pull an encounter card, like when you had enemies on the board. So we ended up pulling 2 encounter cards when we shouldn't have done. So my bad, I'm afraid. Pulled that encounter card earlier when we should have pulled it. Well, there wasn't a red gremlin on the board then, so we'd have got away with it. But all this pales into insignificance with our main error, which I've left till last. The main error was I had all of the gremlins attacking the wrong person. Poor old Lagon got a good old stuffing there, and he shouldn't have. And again, this is something that I'm going to have a bit of a rant around in a minute. But if you recall, I just had the gremlins, because they could see Lagon, I had them sort of skip up here and start beating up on him. And beat him up they did. But I shouldn't have done that, because apparently they should have attacked Icarus. I would have rather had them attack Icarus, because he had more armour, for example. But no, they attacked Lagon, which was worse for us. One of the good things about all these errors that I've made, they were pretty much against me, so at least I don't have to go around and change everything, because frankly it'd just be easy to redo the whole episode, but as it is, we're just going to leave it. But yes, they shouldn't have attacked Lagon. They should have actually have gone down their range list first. So you start at the top and then go down. As soon as you hit a range, like this attack with claws for example, 0 range, he attacks him because he's at 0 range. He doesn't go to 1 or 2, 3 or 4 or plus until he finds out he's got nobody to attack at 0 range. Yeah, so quite easy, you just go down there. And you think, well, that's dead easy, what are you complaining about? What I'm complaining about is page 48 of the rulebook. And I'll show you why. Because you get to page 48, and in the case of multiple eligible targets, of which there were, you actually have a look down here and it says, first, the most wounded. Then, the one with the fewest HP remaining. Then, the closest in terms of areas of distance, starting with 0 range. So it actually puts range in there. But in fact, range should be at the top. Now, I can see where they're sort of coming from, saying, right, well, you do the range thing first, and then you get to this, right? Well, that should be made clear. So it should have range at the top. Quite why they've got it third in the list, I don't know. Yeah. It should perhaps say here, if not covered by the range list, you go to the closest or something. I'm sure there is some weird and wacky like scenario where you would like actually trigger this third bullet point. But the fact is, it's going to happen very, very rarely, because if you're going down this list first, why on earth would you get point 3? As I say, there's probably some weird and wacky scenario where it does happen, but I don't imagine it'll happen that often. So consequently, it was the rule book that sent me the wrong way there, and perhaps they ought to have a look at that if they ever do a, you know, another edition or a revised printing, because it is very confusing. But thank you to everybody who's put me right on those various things. Brilliant. So Cowboy, Ralph, everybody else who's sort of let me know I was getting that wrong, I will know in future. And it'd have been nice if they put it a lot clearer in the rulebook. Because as it was, I think if you'll recall, while I was going through the actual episode, I kept bobbing away to check. So it would help if there was like a bullet pointed list, like on page 48, that was actually correct. So anyway, let's go on with it. As I've mentioned, it's just too much hassle to correct it all. Poor old Lagon's going to have to put up with it. It hasn't worked in our favour. We've ended up losing that nice healing potion, and we're not even in the last room yet. I was hoping to use it on Icarus, but we're not going to be able to do that. So I think it's pretty much, as it's pretty much gone against us, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so having gone through that raft of corrections, I may have even missed one. So if you go back to the previous episode, check out the comments. It's got them all in there pretty much, but I think I've covered most of them, if not all. Okay, right, we can get to the time phase and crack on. And here we are at the time phase. Just before we go into it in full, there was a question on BGG regarding, with it being the night phase, why are we not taking one hit off the hero's attacks? Well, that was right in the prologue. If you actually look here, Actually says night event 5. During the night, each attack performed by the heroes causes -1 hit. But if you have a look on Quest 2, which is Menaced Kingdom, night event 5, no additional effects. So we do not have to take -1 hit off. -1 hit off is an additional effect. Okay, so just to go through that. But thank you for the comment. I think it was Jed. So that's what happened with that. Okay, here we are with Icarus, and he's on 6 hit points, and he's still got his sapphire and all that sort of stuff, so he's ready to rock and roll, and yeah, he's okay. Oh, one other thing, apparently we should get Whirlwind, that axe, we should get that to him like pretty quickly, because like apparently it's the best Act 1 weapon in the game, so we'll sort that out. I do like the fact he's got a shield though, but apparently I'm an idiot, and I should just give him the Whirlwind Axe. Alright, so that's it for Icarus. Next up is Thorgar. And here we are with Thorgar. He is at 5 hit points, unfortunately, because he took a bit of damage as well. Those pesky spines. But other than that, he's okay. His heal wounds has refreshed. He'll probably have to use that again on either himself or on Icarus. And yeah, that is it for Thorgar. Next up is poor old Lagon. And here we are with poor old Lagon. So he's got all these crits on him. He's at -1 hit. He's at -1 health, so he can only go up to 6. He's on 5 at the moment. But now we've got the targeting sorted out, I don't think he's going to have too much bother. Well, hopefully not anyway. He's got quite a bit of stuff in his backpack here. But yes, here's the Whirlwind that apparently we have got to pass off to Icarus as quickly as possible. Remember, we do have Fenrir, so Fenrir can put this in his jaws and trot up and hand it over. But first, obviously, we'll have to kill that green gremlin. We've got 85 crowns, at least. He's managed to pick that up. I should have used his elven cloak as well. I did mention that in the last episode, flashed it up or whatever. We could have used that and we could have saved ourselves a lot. In fact, it's a good job I didn't, because then he wouldn't have been hit. And then, and then I would have, like, would have probably... it have probably caused an even bigger mess up. So yeah, Lagon just got hit. That's just the way it is. And we'll save that for the last room anyway. This way you should be able to get into the last room and avoid being hit. The other thing is summon Fenrir here. It should be like that. And the reason is that it doesn't start ticking until Fenrir gets killed. So Fenrir's up there. If he gets killed, then we've got to wait one round, and then we can resummon him. Yeah. So it isn't automatically ready as soon as Fenrir dies. We have to wait. So if I keep it that way round, then he understand. But poor Fenrir's not going to die. He's a star. Alright, so I think that is it for Lagon, and that's it for the time phase, so let's get into the battle phase. And here we are in the battle phase, and in fact we better get that in the way, haven't we, so we can see what we're rolling. Who is going to go first? Well, Icarus is going to go first. He has Mighty Presence, so he is dominating. So that already gives us a hit, because yes, he is going to be attacking that green gremlin. He is also going to use an action to focus. So that is 2 hits. Then he is going to hit the said green gremlin with his longsword. So that is 2 red dice. Come on. And once again, we get... just can't catch a break with these dice. So we got the sword and sorcery, but oh yes, we got 3 actual hits because of using the longsword. We get another hit there, which is 4. If we can find 4 on here. And then we have got a lightning bolt. So let's see what the lightning bolt says. Yeah, it's another... oh, and it was 2 hits anyway. and that's yet another hit. So we're just 6 is what we get in total, and that's exactly twice as much as we need because it's only got 3 health. So we've killed this guy, so let's get rid of him, and those, pop those up there. He goes in the discard. Get rid of that. So great work, and he drops 5 crowns. Pop that here. And what are we going to do next? Well, I think what we're going to do next is we're going to open that door with his action. So he's going to bash this door down. So get rid of that. And that is going to set off a trap. So here we go with the trap. Lightning. Unless save, each hero within 2 areas suffers 1 hit point and becomes knocked out. Okay, so that is 1, 2. The wolf isn't in the area because this is a separate area here. So that is 1, 2. So I think our wolf is fine. And similarly, that would be 1, 2 over here, I think. Okay, so unless save, each hero within 2 areas suffers 1 HP and becomes... So we've got to save, haven't we, for good old Icarus. He gets 2 blue dice because he's lucky, and he is looking for a pentacle. And he doesn't get a pentacle. Is he going to do anything? We could roll again, but why bother? Don't particularly want to send him much further, so what we're going to do is he's just going to get knocked over. Yeah, that'll be fine. He's there, he's knocked over, and we'll leave it at that. I wonder if that does count as 2. No, because that is an area. That is an area, and it was here, so it is 1, 2. Yeah, and that'd be 1, 2 that way. Yeah, so the wolf did get away with it, I think. Right, so that is the end of Icarus's go. He has been knocked over, and we can get rid of that horrible trap. So that pops up there. Who is going to go next? I think we shall have... Oh, he suffers 1 hit point damage as well, doesn't he? So that puts him down to 5. So he's down to 5. Next up is Thorgar. And here we are with Thorgar, and Thorgar first of all is going to move. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. So he's going to go up here, and he's going to see what is wrong with poor old Icarus. And he is going to use his heal wounds. And he's going to heal him for 2 hit points, which puts Icarus back up to 7. Great stuff. And so he's moved 1, 2, 3. Is he going to dash? Is there much point? And yeah, I think he is going to dash. And oh no, he isn't. No, we'll just keep him there, that's fine. Next up will be Lagon. And here we are with Lagon. For his action, I think we'll do his action first. He is actually going to activate Fenrir, and Fenrir is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to go here. Or oh, hang on, I was forgetting about all this cobblers, wasn't I? So 1, 2, 3, but he can still do it. And he will dash. He will dash into there. So he did use both of his actions. Oh no, he can't dash into there because that's bloody thingy as well, isn't it? He's there, Thorgar. Yeah, but it's okay. He can use his heal wounds from 1 range. So he is actually stood here. And the wolf, though, is going to go 1, 2, 3, and that can't move any further, really. So yeah, we'll keep him. We'll keep the wolf here as well because it's got 4 movement, Fenrir. Okay, and for Lagon, what is he going to do? He's used his action, but he can still move. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's got no actions left, remember. He doesn't get 2 actions at Soul Rank 2. And he is just going to stay there. So I think that is it. There's not much else we can do. And we shall leave it at that. Let's move on to the event phase. And here we are at the event phase. So we've got to get rid of Lost Treasure, put it to the back. Let's just see how many cards we've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, that's not too bad. That seems a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, mind you, we've done 2 story events, haven't we? So 2 story events came in and sort of gave us an extra turn. Yeah, that must be it. Yeah, story event 1 and story event 2 got put to the front as well, didn't they? So that saved us a bit of time, actually. Got more time than we thought. Okay, excellent. And Icarus, he stays sat down because the only way you can get back up, I believe, is to spend a movement point or a dash action. So he's having to lie down. And I think we'll leave it here, actually. I know I've only done a single turn, but there was a bit of exposition at the front because I made such a balls up of episode 3. So we'll leave it here. And the reason for that is Christmas. So got a bit to do. Time is at a bit of a premium. And as I say, I've already been like going through a load of errors that I've already done, which is probably going to make this episode a bit longer. And I don't really want to be editing an hour-long episode if I do a second turn today. I will do another episode before Christmas, and time permitting, I'll try and get 2 turns in there. But for the moment, we'll just leave it at this. It seems a good place to stop. There are no enemies on the board, and it means, you know, we're at a good place to just pause it a little. So I'll pause it here, and I will be back very shortly before Christmas with another episode of Sword and Sorcery Immortal Souls. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the views, thanks for all the subscriptions, thank you for all the likes and even the dislikes. As I say, it means you're still watching, so good on you. Anybody who's been across the Board Game Links, talk about the site over there, I'll watch the videos over there, thank you very much. And the same for BGG. Anybody like Jed who's popped a comment over there, liked the videos, dropped Geek Gold, anything like that, thank you so much. Okay, so that is it for episode 4. Slightly truncated, hope you don't mind, hope you understand the Christmassy circumstances behind it. And yeah, I won't wish you, well, of course wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but I'll do a more fulsome job of it next episode because, as I say, I will be back before the 25th. I will be back. So thank you for watching. Oh yeah, and any errors? I'm sure there's been a few, even though I've only done a single turn. Any errors? Please let me know, and at least I'll be able to fix them like pretty quickly because we've only done a single turn. So as I say, thank you though very much for watching. I hope to see you in a couple of days' time, if not before, and I'll see you then. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.